I swear to God.
Is that what happened?
He called me. Ian, I did something. You're going to be proud of me. I said, what'd you do? He goes, I was up late when that merch capsule dropped, and I saw the image of M4, and I thought it was a great picture. Mel looks great. But I saw Drake put a little website on top of it. Went on to domain.com to make sure there was any ownership. No one owned it. The Drake team slipped and didn't buy it. I bought it and routed it right to our Patreon page. So today, we thank Drake. That is great.
That is funny.
And it's huge because that's a real piece of merch.
Great.
Mm-hmm. So it's not a gift from Drake. It's a gift from our team.
However, I liked it better when it was a gift from him, but
we could still play it like it is because it is now.
Well, I mean, it still is.
That's what I'm saying.
It still is.
Videovixens.ca is going to be a real thing.
Traffic for the month goes through the wazoo.
It is. I have the whole Patreon team tracking.
Oh, the traffic put them on the 1st. Hey.
Thank you. And that's not an April Fool's. So thank you, Drizzy.
Yeah, that was my next question. Don't try to April Fool's me today.
No, this is a real thing. I thought he was fucking with me too. I was like, Tyler, be serious. He's like, I'm dead serious. I was up the second it dropped. I checked the domain on that sweatshirt. I saw it was unoccupied.
Shit, I'll take it.
Hey, check me. One for the good guys.
Damn, that's funny though.
Something.
That's funny.
Oh my goodness. You pretentious POS. See, you see what being greedy can get you? Imagine this. Imagine if Joe Budden was in a scenario where he was signed to Spotify. Drake drops an album with a Joe Budden face on it. Spotify goes and drops the URL and route it to a show that he doesn't even own. Mail has nothing to do with the Joe Budden Podcast Patreon, number one. And number two, you open us up for financial liability. Because in the event we say we'll split this with you, Mail, now what happens? We have to open the books up. And in the event we say we're not opening the books, she can literally go and sue us and now see all of the money we've made, and the lines can be so blurred that we may end up having to pay more than even the traction. It was a complete overreach because these people are greedy, and now these people are the corporate structures that they've built their brands up on. Going against these corporate structures, now they're utilizing the very same tech. Ian Schwartzman and whoever works for him and the greed that sits on the side of these corporate institutions and infrastructures that Joe Budden has now found himself turned into. He is now part of the problem that once he was fighting for a solution for. He is now part of an issue. Again, this was not innovation. It was an overreach. So at first, I'm thinking, he's shooting a shot at Joe. Maybe it's some kind of weird flex for Joe. But when I found out that they brought the URL, oh no, whoa, this story is way, way, way more complicated.
And if you ain't talking no dough, then I ain't interested. Look, they say the sky's the limit, I'm going farther than that. She keep blowing on my phone, so I called her mama, come get your daughter back. They just want a little bit of fame, get them boys whack. What, baby? Little one eye, bust your brain, better get a hard hat. They say the sky's the limit, I'm going farther. They can try to, but can't kill me. I'm immortal. I just bought a nigga life, ass and did a side, come with that order. You lazy, the reason you broke, you don't know how to hustle. Don't try me, they know I'm stressed on. Look, red rum, red dot. Hit the block when 12 come. Look, know I'm thuggin' to the fullest, asking for a bullet, cause he never felt one. Stick him to the wall, this a nail gun. Riding with my dog, tryna nail something. Yeah. I said that on you when he got your partner too.
Welcome back to What's Up There podcast. I am your active and attractive host, Big Loon, for another episode of The Fastest Growing. You know the vibe. Just spoke about Brick Baby, Adam 22, not paying his bond, academics, all of that. I mean, we have a lot more we can speak about, but before I get out of here, I want to have a conversation to the creators. Oftentimes on your road to your destiny, chasing your dreams, is filled with master manipulators. And also a cautionary tale to everyone out there that's in a business that sometimes you can speak about business and you don't really know the standard practice and procedures, right? I remember having an interview with LaRussell, and as you notice over the last couple of years, LaRussell has changed his stance on the integration between him and a major label. He entertains a major label partnership at this point because he feels like, I have the infrastructure to really capitalize off of it, and I kind of understand it from a different perspective now. In his opinion, he had certain outlooks that he has now revisited, and he's recalibrated his response and his consideration again to partner up with a label. And so LaRussell is someone that I have a lot of respect for, a great deal of respect for, a friend of the show. But today is not about LaRussell. Today is about Joe Budden. For people who don't know, Joe Budden Podcast has had a very illustrious career. Started off as I'll Name This Podcast later with a couple of friends, Rory Mall, and another young lady. Her name escapes me, pardon me. Somewhere along the lines, got a deal with Spotify, changed the name to the Joe Budden Podcast. That was kind of the beginning of the end of that iteration of the podcast. And so I want to pause right there. Right before the destruction of the original cast of the Joe Budden Podcast, there was a deal on the table from Spotify. The Spotify deal was a very interesting deal. And so we're going to get to that in a second. But today we want to focus on, again, the creators and the terms and conditions of being a creator. And I wasn't going to speak about this stuff, but I waited for anyone to do the science. And again, man, like all of these videos, all of these techniques, all of this information is just, it's like a handbook for the creators. I'm really for the creators. I'm really for the people who are actually trying to figure it out and without being insulated. A lot of these people were insulated with fame and relationships in the business. I now have relationships, but it's just interesting to see how people navigated their way around this business and industry. But let me give you guys what we're talking about today. So for people who don't know, Drake just dropped an album, Some Sexy Songs For You, featuring Party Next Door. It was like a joint album. A couple of those songs on there were some songs that are actually getting some traction. This is the boy trying to get back in his bag. He had one particular song on there called Give Me a Hug. This song was aimed at celebrating Melissa Ford, but also downplaying Joe Budden. I think he said something in that song about Melissa Ford, you a legend. I hate you sitting next to a dick sucker. Joe Budden being the person that sits directly next to Melissa Ford, he understood it was a shot at him. Joe has been instrumental in tearing Drake down and assisting Kendrick Lamar in removing whatever attributes or cachet that Drake has earned in the culture. They've been doing their best to try to erase that and call into question a lot of the abilities he built his career on. Drake probably views Joe as an adversary. I could talk about that, but to me, that's not a story. The whole industry knows that. I'm sure the people watching this knows that. What I want to speak to is what happened following. I want to speak to what happened following the Give Me the Hug song where Drake mentioned Melissa Ford. And so the song drops, Give Me a Hug. It goes viral. Melissa Ford is being celebrated. Melissa Ford embraces it. This now causes us a fake divide between her and the Joe Budden Podcast. Drake has put her in a situation where the bars are so close, it's almost you can't celebrate you without downing me. But Melissa found some kind of way to, I guess, cut out the part where he spoke about Joe Budden. For the people that's operating with any amount of game, there's a lot of information just in the interactions up there at Joe Budden Podcast, and also just in content world. Like, you can tell shit just by who work with who answer phone calls, who don't return. It's just certain things you notice if you paying attention, right? So when Melissa Ford is at the Joe Budden Podcast, clearly she seems to be having some arrested development outside of the show. So she wants to lean in and actually get something for herself. Actually have something for her. Like, I want to have something I can hold on to. Instead of I gotta take you nigga jokes every time y'all feel bad, right? Or every time you want to make me look stupid for the butt of your joke, right? Because it's entertainment. I gotta deal with that. You know, a while back, I kind of felt like they did a bait and switch on Melissa Ford. Look, I'll be honest. older women come to me about Melissa Ford. They know I'm in the space, so they be like, what about that dude Joe Budden? I don't like how they talk about Melissa Ford. And I promise to God, they don't watch the show. They're not on Twitter. These are really elderly women. What happens is some of those clips creep into these other worlds and it has no context. So a lot of times it's the clips where, you know, people are downgrading and downplaying and disregarding and trying to dismantle whatever Melissa Ford is presenting in the conversation. And so Melissa Ford embraced Drake, bigging her up in a song while belittling her boss in the next line. And again, there was so much information in that. We get some very interesting information that made me say, Joe Budden is turned into the people he used to criticize. And so for context, Drake is on his rollout for Some Sexy Songs for You. So, I mean, when you're on a rollout, you're doing merch. He doesn't do interviews, which I think hurts him. It's going to hurt him at some point. He's got to speak to the narratives. And he has to speak to his techniques and his next steps, right? Speak to your base, right? He has to. But he hasn't done any interviews. But you do things to promote your album. You do things to market your album and try to get different markets interested in the music that has dropped. Drake, in that mode, he drops. One of the merch drops was a picture of Melissa Ford when she was in her heyday on the side of a hoodie. And it had a URL. It had a www.viralvideovixens.ca type website. And the internet peeped that. And so the internet came out and said, Drake has actually routed the merch to Joe Budden's podcast Patreon, which is a paid site. And so everybody's like, oh, that was kind of a nod from Drake. And then we saw this video make its rounds on the Twitter and on some of the podcast communities. Pay attention.
Shut up.
I'm serious. I know why.
No, you don't.
Buddy, I know why. Now that it's just us here. I thought maybe it's a jab to Joe. Still sending people over to you. It's on me. I'm the big guy on campus. Couldn't be further from the truth. Our guy, Tyler, saw the merch drop the minute it dropped, went and bought videovixens.ca and routed it right to your Patreon page. I'm not fucking kidding.
Shut up.
I swear
Is
to
that
God.
what happened?
He called me. Ian, I did something. You're going to be proud of me. I said, what'd you do? He goes, I was up late when that merch capsule dropped, and I saw the image of M4, and I thought it was a great picture. Mel looks great. But I saw Drake put a little website on top of it. Went on to domain.com to make sure there was any ownership. No one owned it. The Drake team slipped and didn't buy it. I bought it and routed it right to our Patreon page. So today, we
That's
thank
funny.
Drake. That is great.
That is funny.
And it's huge because that's a real piece of merch.
Great.
So it's not a gift from Drake. It's a gift from our team.
Oh.
However,
I liked it better when it was a gift from him, but
we could still play it like it is because it is now.
well, I mean, it still is.
That's what I'm saying.
It still is.
Videovixens.ca is going to be a real thing.
Traffic for the month goes through the wazoo.
It is. I have the whole Patreon team tracking.
Oh, the traffic for them on the 1st. Hey.
Thank you. And that's not an April Fool's. So thank you, Drizzy.
Yeah, that was my next question. Don't
What?
try to April Fool's me today.
No, this is a real thing. I thought he was fucking with me too. I was like, Tyler, be serious. He's like, I'm dead serious. I was up the second it dropped. I checked the domain on that sweatshirt. I saw it was unoccupied.
Shit, I'll take it.
Hey, check me. One for the good guys.
Damn, that's funny though.
Something.
That is funny.
Oh my goodness. You pretentious POS. See, you see what being greedy can get you? Ian Schwartzman and whoever works for him and the greed that sits on the side of these corporate institutions and infrastructures that Joe Budden has now found himself turned into. He is now part of the problem that once he was fighting for a solution for. He is now part of the issue. Imagine this. Imagine if Joe Budden was in a scenario where he was signed to Spotify. Drake drops an album with a Joe Budden face on it. Spotify goes and drops the URL and route it to a show that he doesn't even own. Mail has nothing to do with the Joe Budden Podcast Patreon, number one. And number two, you open us up for financial liability. Because in the event we say we'll split this with you, Mail, now what happens? We have to open the books up. And in the event we say we're not opening the books, she can literally go and sue us and now see all of the money we've made, and the lines can be so blurred that we may end up having to pay more than even the traction. It was a complete overreach because these people are greedy, and now these people are the corporate structures that they've built their brands up on. Going against these corporate structures, now they're utilizing the very same tactics. Again, this was not innovation, it was an overreach. So at first, I'm thinking, yo, he's shooting a shot at Joe. Maybe it's some kind of weird flex for Joe. But when I found out that they brought the URL, oh no, oh whoa, this story is way, way, way more complicated. Because you know what the quote unquote team of Joe Budden saw? They saw an unclaimed treasure chest. Yo, you don't own Mail. The same way Spotify didn't own Joe Budden, the same way Complex didn't own Joe Budden. Imagine routing that to a fucking show that this lady can be fired from in the next week. She has no ownership in that show. Why would you route that? So all of y'all gonna just take advantage of the black woman in this point, ain't it? You got Drake putting a picture up there, in her words, not compensating her for it. So that's her image and likeness on a hoodie being sold somewhere, and she gets no money. You got the people she works for that then takes and purchases the URL that's on the back of the hoodie that Drake is now promoting, one of the biggest artists in the world, and then route it to an already 7-figure a month Patreon while this woman is trying to build a business, trying to build a studio. She's just, like, bro, it's nasty behavior. There's no way to escape this one. This was nasty behavior, and no one called it out. No one called it out. Everyone just saw it and said, yo, I think they just was hush about it. But I'm like, yo, hold on. He built this whole career off, don't take advantage of the creator. They wouldn't give us Rolex watches. Spotify wouldn't respect us in a way where they would even honor the fact we was number one for so long. The corporate games of losing the numbers. The corporate games of pillaging the audience. Even when you look at the cast, sometimes it's 15 men in there and just Mail. There's no way this is a balanced workplace. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. And so Joe need to get some more women in there, not on camera women. If you ask me, and I'm being honest with this is just my observation. It could be true, could be false. Mail looks miserable. Mail looks like the lady that is now bagging groceries at the job that she didn't want in the first place. If you can just rewind and see how happy Mail was on the push-up, it's been a long time since she's been viewed that way by the audience. If the story stopped there, I still may not have reported on it because I know his fans are sheep, and a lot of these individuals are just gonna look over a lot of these things. They can't even see it through the proper lens. It's not a clear picture. It's always distorted to side with him some kind of way. It's always distorted, which that's what fans are for. That's what my fans do. I don't have a lot of fans. My supporters, they take in the information and they can be critical of the information, but some of us have more fans than others. And I would say Joe has a lot of fans who blindly support and blindly agree with some of the rhetoric that he pushes. A part of the reason I wanted to understand the business was because of some of the Joe Budden and the Spotify breakups. Like, to see him go like, oh, some business happened, he's gonna talk about it for 90 minutes. I remember interviewing Maul, and I told Maul, yo, the show's gonna change. There will be no more rants about business. Number one, because he feels like I'm teaching people how to use these tactics against me. So I'm speaking freely on the mic, and then they're coming to use the same game plan against me, and you never want to be you against you. I don't never teach you everything I know. I just teach you everything you know. So that was number one. And number two, you just won't get the space to clear out. Maul and Rory were in a position where they understood to clear out for 20 minutes and let him go on this little rant about the business, and he was really feeding Coach. And then now these dudes sit around and talk about, give me the time where you got mad at the girl and dropped her off. And you got niggas sitting like this on the podcast. Listen, they claim all these people watching, this how they sitting on them. Give me the time when the girl give me the time when the girl tried to eat your ass. You know, it's just like, before all of that, he was way more focused on giving information and being available for the people in a way where he was resourceful and useful. Now it's just like a bunch of BS bullshit talk. It gets even more interesting. Again, I may not would have talked about it if it was just that, but it gets even more interesting when Joe Budden then tells Melissa Ford, I saw a press release where you kind of mentioned that whole Drake thing. Don't mention my name in any press release, even though you work here. Cause I mean, look at Ice. Look how Ice looks right here. Look. I mean, this is supposed to be podcasting. Look at Ice. Let me be honest with you about podcasting, in particular in that little niche that they're in, right? The little niche deal that's dealing with crime and hip hop and rap and music. You know, the Joe Buddens, the Adams, the academics. You know, I'm in there too, but I don't really swim in that pool as much, you know, but it feels like, and I would even say me too, if I'm being honest, it just feels like that the entire market is just exhausted. It almost feels like the market feels like, yo, we've talked about everything. We've had all iterations of everything that we can do. We did the gender wars. We did the political shit with Trump twice. We did the black president. We did the Drake beef. It just feels like that they're just raking in the money now. Everyone is going for low-hanging fruit. And so while we're in the middle of tariffs, this is why I say the Joe Budden podcast, right? His fans are delusional when they talk about that it's even on the same level as the Breakfast Club, because the Breakfast Club is literally a service for our community. You can cut on the Joe Budden podcast and they'll take 2 or 3 hours and talk about mail and ish and just bullshit, right? It's not the same thing. If Kentucky is underwater, you will know when they record in New York in the morning at the Breakfast Club, right? So they still act as a service for us. And while Joe Budden is doing this differently than maybe a Vlad Academics and No Jumper, it still feels like he flourishes over the friction in the same way. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like they've been removed from those conversations that were really important to the culture, like when a big contract is signed. JD just did a deal. They didn't have a peep. They didn't speak about it at all. The Larry Jackson deal, the LeBron James deal, the shit that's happening at Amazon. You dig? The shit that's happening with the record labels, the Drake shit, the streaming numbers. Like there's business to be spoke about, but they no longer speak about these things. Now they just spend a majority of their time shooting at each other, and she's already just one female in the room. As my fellow content brothers, I'm telling y'all that this is starting to look weird. It's starting to look very... And also, like, y'all need to get back on your shit. Like, get back to the subjects, get back to the topics, get back to being a service of the culture. There was a congressman in Tennessee that got jacked up and threw out of the House of Representatives. He was on Breakfast Club the next week. You see what I'm saying? It's like, are you that for our culture when that's the reach you really have if you're Joe Budden? But just like these rappers that's going on stream, that's what I'm saying. Where are the businessmen that were like Jay, that were like 50, that were like QC, that were like Master P, that were like, right? Where are these dudes at? These next crop of niggas is just bullshitting. You did enough character development, my nigga. Start being of service to the culture. That's how you move to the next level. The entertainment factor, y'all got it whenever y'all need it. Start being of service. Pay attention to Lee. This is a merch misdirection. This is not praise. This is bullshit. Drake is playing a game. That's clear. But at the same time, the backdrop still remains that Joe Budden and his team went and bought the URL. So 2 things can be true. And that's what we have to realize too, right? Simultaneously, things can be happening, right? And they know this because they're arguing that Drake simultaneously dissed Joe and bigged up Mel. So with that being said, both things are true. The same is true in this scenario where Drake is bigging up Mel, but he's also doing the merch misdirection because it's not praise, really. It's not praise, it's picking. And for Mel to act obtuse like, it's the only thing. And now, come on, sweetie. But I can only imagine it's 15 on 1. It's a 20v1 in there on Beloved. Pay attention. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the numbers. You pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stats projections, like you'll pick Patrick Mahomes for up to 2 passing touchdowns or Saquon Barkley for more than 60 yards, and you watch the winnings roll in. I've been using Prize Picks, and it's just so simple. I can make my picks and submit an entry in less than 60 seconds. That's just 1 minute. And the withdrawals, it makes the experience even better. After you win, you definitely don't want to wait. And don't miss out on Taco Tuesdays. That's where selected player projections are discounted up to 25%. Go to prizepicks.com, use my code IUTP to receive a guaranteed $50 when you play just $5. Again, that's prizepicks.com, my code IUTP. If you support the show, sign up for Prize Picks, use my code, and watch the winnings roll in. This is daily fantasy sports made easy. Salute to Prize Picks for supporting the movement, and let's get back to the episode. Like these rappers that's going on stream, that's what I'm saying. Where are the businessmen that were like Jay, that were like 50, that were like QC, that were like Master P, that were like, right? Where are these dudes at? These next crop of niggas is just bullshitting. You did enough character development, my nigga. Start being of service to the culture. That's how you move to the next level. The entertainment factor, y'all got it. Whenever y'all need it, start being of service. Pay attention to. And see, I don't like that, right? Because clearly, this is a merch misdirection. This is not praise. This is bullshit. Drake is playing a game. That's clear. But at the same time, the backdrop still remains that Joe Budden and his team went and bought the URL. So 2 things can be true. And that's what we have to realize too, right? Simultaneously, things can be happening, right? And they know this because they're arguing that Drake simultaneously dissed Joe and bigged up Mel. So with that being said, both things are true. The same is true in this scenario where Drake is bigging up Mel, but he's also doing the merch misdirection because it's not praise, really. It's not praise, it's picking. And for Mel to act obtuse like, it's the only thing. And now, come on, sweetie. But I can only imagine it's 15 on 1. It's a 20v1 in there on Beloved. Pay attention. And for those of you that cannot see the video, what just was said, because they'll probably clip it. For those of you who cannot see the video, what just was said was, Mel, you fell into the trap with Drake. He was using you for to get in between Joe. And she said, well, he never said his name. I don't necessarily respect that because we knew he was speaking about Joe. The fact of the matter is that they were mad that Melissa Ford celebrated Drake bigging her up from the get-go. But that still doesn't make it right to go and buy the URL and reroute it to a business Melissa Ford has nothing to do with, in which makes, I would imagine, 6 or 7 figures a month easily. This is unacceptable behavior. I mean, this is groundbreaking. This is groundbreaking behavior from Joe Budden as he has built his brand on being creator first. This is encroachment on the highest level. While I do understand that she's acting obtuse, what happened? I don't respect that. What I will say though, she should have been able to capitalize off of it herself if she leaned into it. I'm also going to put on the record that I believe her to be virtue signaling. Something is not right at JBP for Mel Ford. It's clear. This is a very clear undertone in her facial expressions, in her actions, and it even gets, let me let you guys in on some inside baseball at this point, right? So Joe Budden is doing what's called consumer facing. What's happening here is everyone in the room knows Joe is feeling a way about this press release, and we'll get to why here in a second. Number 2, everyone except Mel, and maybe even Mel, knows Joe feels a way about her embracing Drake as he steps in and tries to divide the pie. Now, her doing this speaks to the public, and Joe understands this. On top of that, industry insiders understand this, and that's what Joe knows. And you're about to see him go to another level as it pertains to, I caught what you're doing. We're going to get into why he's upset about depression. Getting interesting, you guys. So for those who are not paying attention, there's a lot of virtue signaling happening in real time. In that clip that we just watched, I'm not sure if you guys are able to see it on YouTube, Melissa Ford basically explained to Joe Budden as he's acting like he has no clue that his business partner was involved in crafting this press release that was released to the public. And they started with Tasha K. This press release read, and of course I'm paraphrasing, so this is not verbatim. This is not word for word, but the sentiment was basically that over the last couple of days, Drake has celebrated me in a song called Gimmie a Hug. While she appreciate that he bigs her up, she mentions that he is selling a hoodie with her. And this is where it gets sticky. And this is where all industry insiders say something's going on. And we're wondering, is she pandering? Is she virtue signaling? We're trying to figure out what it is. Clearly, they don't make a lot of money as co-hosts over there. That's just clear to everyone in the business. Maybe not to the fans, but the people in the business, they don't make a shit ton of money as being co-hosts over there. But she basically spoke to Joe Budden's team, figured out, understand that this going in a press release is very intentional. And I know that Joe knows that his company had a hand in this, because they know that there's people like me in the industry that's saying, I know they didn't just go and buy a URL that celebrated Melissa Ford and rerouted it to a show that she has nothing to do with, that is already successful. What level of greed is that? What level of greed is that? I couldn't imagine if Complex did that to Joe Budden, how he would feel. And the narratives he would craft surrounding that. And because he knows that, that's why you see him reacting in the way he's reacting. So when she mentions in the press release, hey, Joe Budden and his team bought the URL that Drake put on the merch that had my face on it and routed it to his paid subscription Patreon that I have no ownership in. Then they made her fix it. And then they rerouted it to my YouTube page. Thank you so much, Joe Budden. The press release did not need to be put out. And how do I know Ian knew about the final version? Well, because Ian is the person who's going to service it to the blogs. It was going to be blasted out. And according to Melissa Ford, they started. Now let's unpack a few more things that was mentioned here. Melissa Ford mentioned that she rewrote this press release with the help from Joe Budden's business manager in a way that will make him look like the hero. That's 100% her virtue signal. If Joe Budden paid a pretty penny, then I would imagine that these scenarios wouldn't even be when someone like Drake simultaneously highlights, when someone like Drake highlights Melissa Ford while simultaneously dismissing Joe Budden, which just so happens to be her boss. I think she understands there's a clear line in the sand. Now the public just saw this as a very light-headed. Now some of the casual fans, and this is what Ian was hoping, but the consumer now is way too smart. The consumer is too smart for the shenanigans from the 90s and the early 2000s. The consumer's just way too smart. So with this press release, Joe understands this. Not sure about Ian. I think Ian understands it too. That's why they didn't continue to blast it out, because it doesn't make sense. You just draw attention to it. While some of the public saw a lighthearted flattery in the press release, insiders recognized that it was underhanded routing of a URL. This was a calculated business maneuver that few outsiders understood. And so when they talked about it on Patreon, this is what I tell y'all, the devil is in the details. Following that, Joe asked her to stay home for about 3-4 episodes. And so this isn't a minor misstep. And I want people to know something. I want to be clear. This isn't a Joe Budden creators come to love that was leading the way. He's a shell of himself. He's using every tactic he learned along the way against the very people that's helping him build his business. And I think part of it is that, right? You know how as a child you mad about the parent being quote unquote strict, and then you become the parent and you become quote unquote strict. It seems to be he's now the parent in this scenario. But I would ask Joe, I would ask Ian, I would ask their entire business, like, what does it mean when the very platform that's supposed to celebrate Melissa Ford's image reroutes her recognition to a show she doesn't own that's already paid, performing, productive, and successful. They reroute her recognition to the Joe Budden universe. And so my question is it support or is it subversion? Because what could happen is they say, well, Mel, it didn't make any money. Well, Mel and no one signed up. I mean, it was a dumb move all the way around because it opens us up to legal scrutiny. Yo, I want to audit them. For every sign up that happened that the 6 months following that hoodie kept selling, that song was #1. Like, it just opens you up to a lot of nonsense. Why would you reroute it? Because you're greedy. Simple. What's interesting is that in this business, people will claim the more high ground and they'll be implementing the same tactics that they openly criticize. Cause hell at the great company of Spotify, tear down Complex, and then run your company worse than Spotify and worse than Complex for the creator. Picture the Joe Budden and Complex situation. Complex already had a relationship with Spotify. They just had a show that was doing well. In the same way he has a host that's doing well. He don't want to up their pay. You see what I'm saying? So he's guarding the same goalpost that Complex was guarding. So for people who don't know, Joe Budden, when he was signed to Complex with Academics, they had a show. They ended up having turmoil internal with the company because what? Because Spotify stepped in and wanted to sponsor the show. Or Nike may have stepped in and asked, hey, can they wear these shirts? These are relationships that Complex has already had. What you don't know is that the Complexes of the world, the iHearts of the world, the Spotifys of the world, the Apples of the world, the BETs of the world, the Netflix of the world, they have what's called sales teams. And so when they do get a piece of content, they can monetize it to the highest extent. And so Complex had already had all of these relationships. They just had one of their shows that was doing pretty well. So they try to integrate the Spotify situation, and Joe says, no, I'm bringing Spotify. I brought Spotify. They're only here because of me. And he went off and in turn ruined that relationship for a couple of years and made that show disappear. The show ended up, Academics tried to hold it up, and then it ended up just, imagine if one of those companies would have rerouted recognition that was meant for Joe Budden to Joe Rogan's show. It was like, well, it's still in the Spotify subdivision, because that's the argument that Ian and them have. Is like, you work for us. Well, no, I'm a subcontractor that y'all barely pay, that y'all overtalk, and that y'all do a 20v1. Like, I'm saying, if she in her feelings, like, she can feel that waistline. And of course I know more than I'm saying, because I'm a player, right? I don't got it right. I ain't gonna say too much, but I'm a player. I used to enjoy some of those conversations, like about the business. I have them still, right? And I think it makes me more valuable because everyone is just exhausted. They burnt out. They no longer have any direction in their conversations, any passion in their conversations. And Joe Budden, you know, as it pertains to the content world, right? I'm not speaking about his personal life, but as it pertains to his space in the culture, he was right on the cuffs of trying to be revolutionary as a creator. And it feels like he's been regulated. The money is regulated. And he's morphed into the machine. You know, Melissa Ford wanted to, if nothing else, capitalize off of it. Like, if you do know some of the tricks of the trade, right? Let's say you do know that trick. Let's say you do know. All right, Drake put that out. We know Mel isn't getting paid off the picture because he hasn't reached out to Mel. So if Melissa Ford works for me and I own the Joe Budden podcast and I see Drake drop a piece of merch that has her face on it, I'm the big dog. I'm making plenty of money. I'm already knowing Drake ain't sent her no money. I would have rerouted it to her YouTube to begin with, then came on the Patreon and clowned Drake about, damn, you ain't sent her no bread or nothing. You doing good over there? You suing people? Like, I would have tried to play him like he was broke or losing. His income was running out. Even though we know that ain't the case, that would have been a better narrative than switching it on her. It's always internal. And so then you have to question, is it supportive or is it exploitive? Because these things can feel the same way long as you being paid. Is it supportive or is it exploitive? Because it seemed like Joe Budden don't want none of these plants to grow. And because y'all see it look like he watered the plants, you don't really understand what's happening. So let me explain something to you. There's a way to water plants in a way where you damage the plant to make sure it don't grow. If you put hot water, if you try to water the plants with hot water, you can damage the plants. And if you're viewing me from afar, if you had limited understanding even to that concept, All you see is me doing what you consider is feeding the soul. You don't know that I'm doing that because I know your expectations is to see me walk over there and feed these plants. But I'm really going over there with hot water to make sure they don't grow past where I need them to be, to make sure I pluck them. I think another point, and then we'll move on. Another point about this is Joe also asked that no one mentioned his name outside of the show. So imagine working on a show, not being able to make a lot of money at the show. If I get any recognition, they'll reroute it to the Joe Budden subdivision. So everything that I am outside of the show, they want to contribute to the show. But then when I leave the show, leverage the show for anything. Why is that the case? Well, usually that's the case when no one is allowed to have individual success but the CEO. I mean, it's easy for me to say because I don't have a co-host, but it feels like that it's only enough for one sheriff in town. And so when that's the case, and you have a show that only one man feels as though I can shine off this show, but y'all hold it down. Y'all be a little quiet. But you got to be a master manipulator to be able to run that show called the Joe Budden Podcast, have people happy to sit there with no equity, being paid, of course. A lot of people trade money for a service, so I get that. That's fine. You got to be a master manipulator to be able to build this show off of collaboration, but at the same time, make it where you are the only one that can experience individual success. That's a mean game plan. So what did we learn? This fallout forces fundamental friction in the founding. So while people felt a part of a fraternity with Melissa Ford, maybe it was all a facade. You got to be careful when you have outsiders trying to reach into the, I don't like that either. I tell my woman, compliments are calculated. Don't never get that confused. Compliments are calculated, baby. Like you can pull up at the store in the neighborhood, big money. What you doing, boy? You been kidding. I just watched this shit, right? You got $5. Let me get $5. Boy, you looking good out here. You come and ask for something, right? That compliment. So in closing on the Joe Budden and Melissa Ford scenario, Drake shouted Melissa Ford out in a song while simultaneously dismissing and speaking to him with derogatory language, basically saying, yo, Melissa Ford, you a legend. I hate to see you with that dick sucker. Calling Joe Budden, of course, the dick sucker. He then proceeds to drop a piece of merch. That merch has a URL on it. It's a ghost URL. Joe Budden and his team figures out it's a ghost URL. They reroute the recognition meant for Melissa Ford into the Joe Budden universe behind a paywall for a show that already is mega successful, and then leave Melissa Ford on the outside wondering what it made, what it caught, what happened. They did end up rerouting it to Melissa Ford's YouTube. I still spoke to the day that I think that this was a overreach. It was encroachment, and Joe Budden cannot stand on the moral high ground of creator land. He's been co-opted. It's an inconsistent message to the creators. You know, I'm playing Kingmaker still, right? I haven't morphed into the machine just yet, and so these corporate tactics still do rub me the wrong way. He wants her to ruin her relationships. Melissa Ford wants to have a career outside of the Joe Budden podcast when she leaves the Joe Budden podcast. And also the people that works for him understands he's now morphed into the machine. When you go from a pathfinder to a gatekeeper, used to be a key maker, now you a kingmaker, you know. He wants Melissa Ford to ruin her relationships, but she wants a career when he gets in his feelings and says he don't want to do the Joe Budden podcast no more. She don't want to ruin her relationship. She understands, hopefully, that compliment was a conduit to a conversation that would allow for division inside of the Joe Budden podcast. But while some people seen her leaning into the Drake situation as her embracing her independence, I kind of seen it as virtue signaling. I think every industry insider sees that she's virtue signaling at this point. Something is off the hinges over there at the Joe Budden podcast, man. But you know, I think again he's positioned himself for a long time to be on the side of the creator, and it's not a good feeling. It hurts us to see go from raging against the machine to helping the machine rage. If I'm being honest, Joe wanted her to handle that a certain way, and she didn't handle it that way. So now he's gonna handle every situation moving forward with her, even worse than he's been handling it before. As you see, I guess there's some issue with her and another podcaster. I guess he's fueling that. but Melissa can't say nothing because you leaned into the Drake thing. So when I repost the girl who is dissing you, or I say she's fire, or I give her some shine, not bleep her name, say her name on the show, you really can't say anything because that's what you did with the Drake situation. So I truly believe that's how he feels, and I think he's standing on that. Before we get out of here today, I know we just talked about the Joe Budden thing. Before we get out of here today, I do want to look at one more video because I'm going to check out on this Brick Baby, Big U, Whack 100, Loose Cannon, all of that 60 shit on the West Coast. I'm going to check out of that and I'm going to get back to like business stuff and other topics right within the show. So I just want to be clear with y'all about that, unless some recent development is just pertinent information that needs our commentary. You know, as far as this, I'm really going to check out of it. It's not something that I want to spend a lot of more time on it. I feel as though if you listen to my coverage on it up until this point, you should be able to get enough good game information and instruction, and you should leave that informed as to what they're facing, how it happened, and what's going on. But before we leave, I do want to take a look at this video that we did see a clip of it earlier in the show. This is when Brick Baby and this guy Loose Cannon finally met up face to face. Loose Cannon was just running with Whack 100, brought them together in this moment. 100, he has a crew called the Exposers. These Exposer guys were online running some content about an unsolved murder involving, allegedly, they claim Big U. Turns out that murder is in the paperwork. They said that they spoke to the family let them know a whole bunch of details that was involved with that murder case, right? And so they brought it to the internet. These are the tactics I'm telling you that is digital war that you in. And so when they bring it to the internet, ruins Wax and Loose Cannon's relationship. Loose Cannon seems to not be able to operate alone, so he wants to hook with someone, and so him and Brick Baby end up meeting up. And so what we're about to watch is Brick Baby as he and Adam 22 sit there with Loose Cannon on the phone, and they just hollering about some gangster street bullshit talk that they shouldn't even be speaking about. Now, the environment that is created here is interesting. Adam 22 is running a scenario where the closer you get to him, maybe the more opportunity you get, or maybe the more money you make. I'm not sure, but there seems to be an incentive in these gangbangers' eyesight when they look at Adam. So they want to like peacock against each other. He's not like that. I'm like that. Oh, you think he's like that? I'm like that. Like, it's a weird thing that they're doing. I'm like, what are they doing? The only person need to know you like that is the people that violate this shit. You violate this shit, you gonna find out quickly who like that. But if you don't never violate this shit, man, let it stay in question. So Brick trying to reign supreme at No Jumper, you got to remember they were already pivoting 4 Extra against Brick. So the scenario was, yo, Brick, your profile is lowering because 4 Extra is here. His shit is skyrocketing. And Brick got to tell him, no, I crashed out and it went 1 million views. Nigga, the crash out went viral. This went viral. We did the Buka Buka went viral. He started to lean in the bullshit just to try to get the numbers. He even put the crash out as part of his accolades when he knew his decision making had collapsed in that moment. That's the same crash out that's in his federal indictment. But yet he would wear it as a badge of honor because Adam 22 would look at it and say, oh yeah, you did go viral 3 times this year. That ain't an even swap. So what we're about to look at is one of the altercations, because if we're being clear, in the statement of facts on the federal bond package that the federal government placed up, both scenarios where Brick Baby saying something on the camera was at No Jumper. And it was both times where Adam was on camera and Loose Cannon was involved. So sometimes you're in a proxy war and you don't understand that. So I want us to look at this encounter. Pay attention to this.
You're a bitch made.
Oh.
You get what I'm saying? Like, wow. The bitch makes all the calls. Do you hear the podcast? She was at academic. Body out the building. Just imagine have to sit across from him every Tuesday.
You don't think Luce is a good podcaster?
Look,
you see how it even starts. And we're going to get into it. I don't mean to stop it so quickly, but you see how it even starts. Luce is a good podcast. Why are we even talking about this? We're on a show. We got topics to talk about. This shit going on in the world. You don't think Luce a good podcaster? Oh, man. Now I got to diss Luce because now I'm the big crip on campus, nigga. Ain't no loose cannon. Don't invite another op up here. You already got whack up here. I got a duck and dodge around him. You had the DW nigga I got into it with. I got into it with 4 Extra. Yo, what you on up here? So he's trying to stop it before it even started now. He's trying to be proactive instead of reactive. So he finds himself in a scenario to tell no jumper. Hey, and this is at the beginning of the conversation. Don't even consider, which Adam was never considering this. Let me be clear with y'all. This is just a game. The same game you see Joe play. The same game you see a lot of these content guys play. Right? What happens is they need content. They need narrative, storyline. It has to be entertaining. That's just how it is. So Adam is in that position and like, you don't think I should hire Loose Cannon? Yo, while I'm at the tip-top beef and this nigga just beat somebody up and we probably see each other and something happen, you gonna play that game too. Pay attention.
Loose sucks. Loose, like,
he's funny though, bro.
But bro,
he is funny.
I'm evil. I want to see people die. I want to see bodies drop.
You ain't never killed shit, bitch. You from fucking IE somewhere, man. Let's be real. You with the nigga. You did not grow up in a set. You didn't do none of that, and you are living off of your bitch. He gets an allowance from his bitch. You're not even breaking on that bitch. Like, dude, you can never tell me nothing. You're a bitch made and you're a bitch made.
Oh.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
wow.
The bitch makes all the calls. Do you hear the podcast? She was at Academics telling them, no, that's not what it... Like, bitch, shut the fuck up.
I didn't
bitch,
see
you
that.
ain't never heard a nigga
See that episode? Is that a good one?
I just seen a clip and she was she was in that motherfucker. Like, no, it was there. Like, man, bitch, I'm on the podcast. So shut the fuck up.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bitch made and a bitch made is insane.
Yeah,
It's not bad. You've been hanging out with him too much.
That's bars.
Yeah, he's so bitch made, he turned into a bitch's made.
And that's how a bitch is made.
Come on, man. Put him on the Swiss blade.
Yo, but I gotta say though that so I was supposed to interview Loose on Tuesday. Like, it was supposed to be like
Bring him back up.
like significantly before this, so that we would have time to clear the premises and make sure there was not any overlap between the brick man and the Loose guy.
But they not like us.
Okay, but he showed up like 30 deep. To be totally fair,
No 60s.
I don't know where these guys came from. I don't know who most of them were, but that was a little bit of a thing.
There's a lot of people.
You got a new bodyguard.
It made a little bit of a scene. So I had to kind of shut it down on Tuesday and we had to run it back the next day. We did get it done, so I was happy about that. But yeah, definitely he tried to pull
Next
a move.
time, because I know he's going to be a routiner, ask him who was involved with his put on. Can he give us any names from his put on? Can he give us what block he got put on? Let's get to the bottom of it.
You want me to call him, ask him that now?
Yes.
Oh, God.
That's a clip
Yes.
for that ass.
Yes.
That's a clip for
be
that
real.
ass.
We got to find out.
Who
we got to
put
find
you
out.
on? What year was this?
See, this is the ego. This is Brick's ego talking to him. Yes, call him. Who put you on? That ain't something me, you, and Adam got to talk about. But I need Adam to hear it because I'm trying to undermine this nigga. Don't bring this nigga around, man. We got real. It's real. It's really up with dude. Don't bring this dude around. That's what he trying to fight for his position. With the owner of the platform, it seems like that there's a revolving door with all of these shows and their co-hosts, and there's a constant proving grounds happening. There's a constant proving grounds happening, and in my opinion, that's what we're looking at. Pay attention.
Hiring minds.
Just want to know.
This is crazy. I can't believe I'm doing this. Okay.
Gangster origin stories.
Because I've never seen him at Hyde Park at a meet. I've never seen you at 54th Street.
Pretty sure you got
I've never
an
seen you at
Android, so-
Horace Man at no meet.
Adam, what's up?
Hey, Loose Cannon, I'm here live on the No Drama Show with Brick Baby and Lush. Brick Baby is requesting some information regarding your put on.
First thing he supposed to say is, tell Brick meet me in the hood or call my phone. Why do we got Adam in the middle of this? And why do Adam want to be in the middle of this? And why is you on a camera on a phone like this? Yo, you got some responsibility in this, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone held you accountable, bro. I know ain't nobody telling you, but I'm gonna be the one to tell you. If you think it's sweet, it ain't sweet. If you think that you get to just get away, you do not just get to get away. I want to be clear with that. Don't think them dudes just laying around. Feeling a certain kind of way, bro. Adam, you don't get away with this kind of behavior. Somebody got somewhere feeling some kind of way about the role you played in this.
Hey, can you give us like at least 2 names from your put on and what block?
Also, Brick Baby gotta pay the Pied Piper. Loose Cannon gotta pay the Pied Piper. Them niggas been out stupid. Them niggas went out stupid, my nigga. They went out sad.
I ain't never seen you at no meeting at Hyde Park, Horace Mann, or at 54th. When did you get put on?
Baby, when did
you get put on? I got put on in 2002. I got put out in 2002, nigga, on Eileen Street at June House. Nigga, you know what's up, nigga. Yeah, dead homie. So when you get put on?
No, you haven't, bro. You been in
Man, cuz nigga, Hillbilly was a part of my put on. Nigga, Killer Dave was a part of my put on, nigga. Oh, the Dead Homies. My first name was Baby Wild Bill, nigga. On the Dead Homies at Izzy turned East Coast. That was the third nigga I squabbled. Who did you squabble, gang?
I squabbled everybody.
Who? You didn't squabble everybody, bitch ass nigga. How? You would have went home fucked up.
Shut your buster ass up.
Ah, you didn't get put on, bitch. Hey, shut your bitch ass up. How you come up here with 30 niggas and none of them was from 60s, nigga?
Buster ass, hoe ass nigga.
So again, this is unprecedented. This is real life situations going on. You got two white boys. Look at the white boys though. I ain't even studying Brick and Loose. Them niggas crashed out they dumb. I'm looking at the white boys smoking cigarettes, and one of them with Adam just had a hair transplant. They got these two niggas tricking them.
Dead homies, I got more shots than that in my car. You had 30 niggas, nigga. You was still 20 short, nigga. West side rolling, nigga. What the fuck is you talking about, nigga? Nigga, man, come on, cuz. Don't get your shit punky headed, bitch. On the dead homies.
Shut up, you's a hoe.
When did you get put on? We was just asking the question. What day, what block? You hoe ass nigga?
Shut your buster ass up.
Ah, you a big you put on, nigga. Shut up, nigga. You was paying the big homie. Shut up, bitch. Yeah, you was paying. That's why you mad, nigga. Dead homies, you was paying to come around, nigga. On the hood, just like you got Conrad, nigga, apartment when he got out, bitch, and he don't fuck with you. Just like you still playing Brian Hurst, baby, nigga. On the dead homies. Hey, go drop that check off to my little homie, nigga. On hood for shit get bad for you. Before shit get bad for you, go drop that check off, nigga. Before we do something to you, nigga. On hood, back hood crib, bet we do something to you.
Matter of fact, nigga.
Now we have to be realistic. All of this conversation is in the indictment. But I do think there's some truth into this, because Loose Cannon used to hang with Big U and all of a sudden just got mad out of nowhere and stopped fucking with him. Seems like Brick had some information that maybe the rest of the world don't have. So he said, that's why you mad. You used to pay that nigga. Cause why is he mad? Like, why did he just quit fucking with Big U and just start running with Whack 100 and get on all these platforms and start just saying this crazy ass shit about Big U? You see what I'm saying? But this conversation they having got to be one of the dumbest conversations in podcast history. This might go down as one of the dumbest conversations in podcast history. Matter of fact, somebody need to make a montage, a compilation, niggas incriminating themselves so I can post it every day for 2 years straight.
I'm gonna kick your
Hey, nigga, I bet you ain't. Hey, listen, cuz, what hood are you from? You ain't from 63rd. You ain't from Hyde Park. You ain't from 71st. Bitch, what street you from? You ain't from Arlington. What street do you bang?
You hoe ass nigga.
Ah, you still ain't put your put on. Who put you on? All right, thank you, Luce. We love you, sweetheart. Hey, thanks for that 260 too. Oh, the dead homies, get looking for that 260. We finna eat up again. Dead homies, Nate Bud. Because that's what you do, you pay. You're not a player, you're a payer.
BT ass nigga.
You take the L out of player and that you get loose coochie. Dead homies, why your cannon loose, hood? Why your cannon loose though? Why you wanna have a loose cannon?
Listen, you stand up.
Why you wanna have a loose cannon, baby?
Shut your buster broke ass up, bro.
On hood, you live off of, you're a bitch made. You live off the bitch, nigga.
Who live?
On the hood, your bitch got the bag, nigga. On hood, let's go bank account for bank account right now. Nigga, I'ma log in the Navy Federal, nigga. On hood, send a screenshot from today though.
You don't.
Dead homie, send a screenshot for today.
It's not.
That's what I'm saying, gang. Come on. Hey, Lil Coochie, what day you get put on, ganger? When did you get put on? When did you get put on? 2002, nigga, on Eileen Avenue, nigga. And I still was banging the set before that. I was baby ass down before that, nigga. 10th Avenue, nigga. On 6-0, I started Gutter Heels, nigga. Let's talk, nigga. I started Gutter Heels. Nigga, I was at Slap Rock Spot when 7-Eleven started, nigga. When Gutter Kids started, nigga. Dead homies, nigga. Free Avenue Blue, nigga. And it's blasted, nigga. Come on, bro. Hey, nigga, I got more murders than you got squabbles, bitch. In the hood, nigga. Dead homies, nigga. Yeah. Yeah, nigga. Nigga got more skulls than you got squabbles in the set, bitch. On the hood, nigga. Before, hey, I got more skulls than you got squabbles. That's on my 4 babies, nigga. That's on my 4 babies, nigga. That's on my 4 babies. You ain't never got put on my hood, bitch. On the hood, you paid your way on like Lovejoy. That's why you hoes crying together, nigga. On hood, 2 bitch niggas crying, nigga. About getting extorted, ho. On the hood, shut up. Come around the game when you gotta pay, nigga. Shut up.
Listen to this shit. Crying about being extorted. He's saying that's why Big U don't fuck with Brick, cause he was letting them niggas trick him. He was letting himself get emotionally charged up on that motherfucking internet, and he was up there talking like this right here. That's why you ain't Lovejoy mad. You niggas were being extorted. Nigga gotta pay the big homie. You know what I'm saying? He was just in a complete trick bag because they done rage baited him. He feel like they going against him. Then Adam throwing it up and all these squares throwing it up like it's legit. He probably saying, bro, this shit ain't hitting on nothing. And now look, they got him in the middle of it and wide open in the trick bag. Wide open in the trick bag. Shit pathetic, Holmes.
I exposed those text messages, nigga.
Man, on the dead homies and I'm still here, nigga. On the hood. And I'm still here. You want to pay for an interview? On hood, I need 60,000 from a hoe like you. On hood, nigga, you want to pay? On the dead homies, you been paying. Come pay for an interview, nigga.
He needs you.
On hood, I don't need nothing in this world, nigga, but on 6-0 this Quete. It's niggas like you out here. I keep blicks for niggas like you. You too sweet. Nigga, take shit from niggas like you, nigga. I don't need nothing but this blick. I'ma be up, nigga. West side.
You can't do nothing, nigga.
Man, hey, man. At this point, you know where I'm at.
Like you, nigga. You's a hoe, bro. You's a hoe, bro.
Man, listen, cuz I told you to come on Eileen for 2 weeks straight. You have never came back there, man.
Come on, Eileen.
You know the back hood is too wicked. You know the back too wicked.
You see them niggas just high five in the middle of these 2 black men going through a real, like, talking about killing each other. These 2 black dudes talking about killing each other. Look what the white boys doing, y'all stupid ass niggas. That's what I be saying. Y'all niggas be dumb and stupid. That's why I'm gonna make all the money. You niggas gonna be locked up, dead and scared, man. Check this here out, man.
I told you to come on Eileen for 2 weeks straight. You have never came back there, man.
Come on, Eileen.
You know the back hood is too wicked.
This picture is sad to me right here. Loose Cannon is hollering at the top of his lung. Brick Baby is clearly frustrated and mad, upset. Both these 2 black dudes upset, and the 2 white boys racking in the money. Lush is an employee, but Adam racking in the money, and goddammit, just hit a fist bump while you arguing about killing a man and fighting for your life if you see this nigga. And they fist bumping on y'all slow ass nigga.
You know the back too wicked for you. Man, you know them heels too wicked, nigga.
They knocked you out.
Hey, cuz there's no nigga ever knocked me out in my life. That's on West Side Rolling 60 Crip Gang.
DW Flame.
Man, DW Flame what?
Buster, nigga.
DW Flame what? Nigga, you ain't knocked me out.
DW Flame had you.
DW Flame what?
Nigga, he had you.
Hey, on the dead homies, you best friends with a nigga that dissed the set.
You need
nigga, white and dissed the set twice. Nigga, you his homie. You a bitch, cuz. Dead homies. Who you get put on by? That's the only thing that we call for. Who you get put on by? I didn't even want to beef with you, cuz on the dead homies, you're nothing like me. On 6-0, I'm really that. I'm really that, nigga. Really that, nigga. On hood, every time I got shot, nigga, I was in the hood, cuz you have not been outside, bro. On hood. Yeah, check my resume. Every time I got arrested, I went to 77th Street, nigga. You've never been there.
That motherfucker's empty, nigga.
Bro, you got IE cases. What are we talking about? When have you ever got activated in LA County jail, gang? Your mama is a bitch at this point. Shut up, cuz. Your daddy's a snitch, your mama's a bitch. On 6-0, your daddy's a snitch, nigga. Shut up. Your daddy's a snitch. That's why you was up here snitching.
Your mama's a snitch.
Yeah, alright. Prove it. Prove it.
Slap your baby mama.
Yeah, prove it. My mama's a millionaire, nigga. Dead homies, nigga.
I'ma make you.
Nigga still rich off cocaine, bitch. On the hood. Fuck you niggas talk about? I ain't see my family, nigga. Crazy?
Them niggas ain't crazy as shit, bro.
Appreciate you, Lewis.
You still didn't get put on. I got put on by Hillbilly and Killer Dave.
Good talk.
All right.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, man. Laughing. This is not a joke, and this is definitely not funny.
Yeah.
Look,
Nigga. I'm 6'0". You not from the set.
Okay, unbiasedly, I'm gonna keep it a stack. Like, unbiasedly, Brick won that exchange by a significant margin. Like, no, like I have no horse in this race. You know what I mean?
Man,
like,
Brick won this exchange by a significant margin, is what this white boy just said. When two black men was sitting there hollering about, when I catch you, I'ma kill you. Exposing street secrets, shit that's supposed to be discussed offline in each other's face. All my partners will tell you, I hit them. Hey, I need to get in your face, brother. I'm finna pull up. We gonna talk over the internet in front of these two dudes. So these is the judges? Say, homie, you ain't qualified to be a judge, a big boy. White boy, you ain't qualified to be a judge, homie. And I like some of your takes, but you ain't qualified to be a judge. I'm the judge. They both lost. Fuck you mean Brick Baby won by a significant margin. And he done spilled all his hood secrets, told that his mama rich off cocaine. Nigga told Big U was extorting on here, and he done won. Now he been tricked, nigga. They both lost. I keep telling you, nigga, you gotta watch the dice. All this shit is a gamble, boy. You better watch the dice. The dice is what's helping you make the money. Watch the dice. That's who you signed to, who you partnered with, who you in business with, the accountant, the lawyer. Watch the dice. Yeah, we all want to make some money, man. We got to pay attention, though, brother. Got to pay attention. Head on the swivel. And you won't find yourself in a situation where now, after he hangs up the phone and you been arguing with a nigga that has hood secrets and y'all got 4,000-5,000 people watching live, shit probably got 300,000-400,000 views now, to which you tell him you got scores, more scores than he got bodies, who put you on, my mama rich off coke. You been completely tricked. I might would have smacked one of them dudes. I might would have smacked this lush one nigga when he said I won. I probably would have got him and beat the shit out of him just cause y'all hoes done tricked me. Y'all got me. And I'd have said, in the show, cut this off, take that out. But it's gone now, it's live, so it wouldn't have done no good. The shit is live. You got put in the trick bag and you lost. Both of them lost. So don't listen to these white boys, and this is what fuels it. This is the reward I speak about, the incentive I speak about, the idea that they would get off of this call, and the immediate response from the co-workers and the people from this platform is, yo, you won that one. Both of them niggas lost.
Hood, I done boogie down more times than he done fought in my hood. Nigga better stop playing with me, boy.
he did, like, Brick asked a simple question to which there was no formative response.
Oh, hood, you paid your way on.
Like, there was no response to that. So, like, unbiasedly, Brick W. I gotta admit, like, in that exchange,
we not even the same type of person. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
That was crazy. No
Great
cap.
for content.
That was
there
wild.
You go. You wanted content loose? You're not nothing like me. You couldn't sit here on Tuesdays, bitch.
What did you mean when you said that I got more skulls than you got squabbles? What is
he's
that?
saying
You see, that's even more incriminating. Now watch this.
You know what he meant.
Listen, I done boogie down more times than he fought in my hood. What are we talking about?
He's saying in GTA. He's saying when he's playing
fuck
GTA.
Let the people figure it out, nigga.
Yeah.
On the hood, nigga.
Yeah,
Said what I said, nigga.
Yeah, there you go.
Said what I said.
There's demonic energy in this room. I don't know if I want to be in this line of work anymore.
That was that's the breaking point right there.
Oh yeah. I don't know if I'm built for all this. I might have.
Very sad, man. This is some sad shit that niggas need opportunity that bad, and they that uneducated to be able to be tricked into doing these things, man. It's a lot of money being made, but it just ain't worth it. It ain't worth it in these scenarios, man. So again, I thank you guys for watching. I catch y'all on the next episode.